Hi guys, it's Tuesday and it's Crystal here with Truth Fitness. It's our Testimonial Tuesday video. Today I have Beau, say your last name because Filiola with me. Beau's been with us for about 2 years and I think he has a really unique story that I wanted to have him come on today and share with you guys. And so Beau, you started about 2 years ago with us.
That's right, yep.
With our basic training program. What that is kind of an on-ramp to CrossFit. You get to learn all of the basics of CrossFit and also work on your fitness level for a month before getting into regular classes. So tell us a little bit about you. What do you do? Kind of about your family. And then we'll talk about you getting started in CrossFit.
Sure, sounds good. So I live downtown Puyallup, kind of by Sparks Stadium. I work in asset management up in Seattle, downtown Seattle. A lot of sitting at computers, not a lot of movement, not a lot of that. And that's been my gig for over a decade now. So I was I was in that routine, maybe rut. We had kind of a home gym with a bike and a couple dumbbells originally.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and it kind of worked. You'd go move things around a little bit, but it wasn't super effective. So that was where I came from. I'm married, beautiful wife Lauren. I have 2 children, Ben, 4.5, Jane, 1.5 years old. So young kids, they've kind of grown up taking little things and brooms and saying they're doing X squats, whatever that is, or like deadlifts and things like that. So. They're growing up that way now.
That's awesome. All right, so what made you want to just even try this whole thing called CrossFit?
Yeah, so I talked a little bit about having a home gym and not really doing it effectively. And to be transparent, it was my wife that said, it's time to do something. Like, we need to, you could say it's a nudge, it was more of a push to go find something. And so I'm downtown Puyallup, I looked around, I knew it had to be something that could fit into my work schedule and something that I could realistically do on an ongoing iterative basis. And so I stumbled into CrossFit Puyallup, Truth Fitness, and came to basic and been ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what your specific goals were when you first started.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, typically most people when they have kind of New Year's like fitness in your routines.
That was January of 2017, is that okay?
Yeah. Right. You want to be able to maybe move better, all that. You want to look a little bit better. You want your clothes to fit better. So some of the kind of generic goals.
Is that what you had? Did you have generic?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of,
Not that those are bad.
No, there wasn't any specific like I want to climb a mountain or anything.
Okay.
Though maybe we'll get there in the future. But yeah, some of those basic goals and make sure that I was able to kind of keep up with my kids and my wife, who recently ran a half marathon and is pretty impressive. So I don't need to run a half marathon, though maybe I will in the future, but keep up a little bit.
Totally.
So that was the goal.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us about kind of what happened with you kind of physically, but also maybe emotionally. A lot of people have changes inside that happen too within those first 3 months of starting CrossFit. So you had basic training, then you got into regular classes. What was the most significant thing you remember from that time?
Yeah, it's a really good question too. I think in basic, you're in a really comfortable environment. There are a lot of people that also maybe don't know fully what they're doing, so you're free to make mistakes and kind of maybe look silly a little bit. So did that. I had a couple works that I remember vividly saying like, I can't imagine it's harder than this. Like I could barely do it. And then I vividly remember the first actual class, the first graduating class, and we paired up, and I was with some really in shape military guy. We were doing burpee over bars and all these things, and I went in the bathroom and didn't quite puke, but almost puked. And now I don't ever almost puke. And it's incredible. I feel good. You look back at, you try to keep track in your book and on your phone on like what weights you lift, and now it's definitely 20, 30, 40% higher. You feel better day to day. My workout routine is I come at 5 a.m. every weekday except for Wednesday. I go upstairs, change, rush to the train so I can get up to Seattle for my work. And I vividly can remember like the first few times doing like big heavy deadlift kind of movements or Olympic movements and kind of going to work and feeling rejuvenated and refreshed and kind of pumped up for the day and having really effective days at work and being better at my job because of that. So some of those things are really kind of good benefits.
Yeah. How about anything health-wise, that maybe people would identify with, maybe not lifting more weights, but anything that went on with you health-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I definitely feel like my clothes feel a little bit better. I don't know that I've lost a tremendous amount of weight. I've lost some, but it's more about the inches. I think you've said before. It's like you can put on muscle and lose fat, and then maybe you're somewhat close. Hopefully you're still going down.
Totally, yeah.
And I think that's more my story at this point.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see about the next couple of years.
Yeah. Now you've heard us talk about the CrossFit Open, and what do you think about potentially being involved in that for the coming year?
I'm definitely doing it this year.
Yeah, good,
I'm excited for that. That's why I was thinking it has been 2 or 3 years. I was like, well, I know I skipped the first one, so I wasn't quite
you were
fully
just brand
comfortable.
New, yeah.
And now I'm in it, so that's why I'm
awesome.
from those two. So I'll be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know that as one of your coaches, I see so much improvement in the movements that you do, the individual skills. Like for instance, today's workout had those double unders, and you just flew through them. And that's one of the most challenging movements that we do in our workouts is those double unders or snatches. You did snatches today too. A lot of technical work. And how was that for you, kind of learning that stuff coming from no background in CrossFit and then trying all these technical type things? How was that for you?
It's exciting. It's cool. I mean, you first maybe hear about the workout, you see snatches, I don't know what that is. You look up on YouTube or you tell your wife or friends and look it up. They're like, see, this is why CrossFit's terrible. Like, obviously you're going to get injured. This is a crazy throwing things over your head kind of thing. And it's cool. You do it right. You get a lot of, you drill it in really deeply, get the mechanics and fundamentals down. And it's fun. It's exciting. It's always interesting. It's constantly varied. So I really, really enjoy it. And you're right that, double unders, the first time you get one, you're ecstatic, and then you get two. And it's one of those things that at some point you're going to get 10 to 20, and then you're going to regress down to 7 again. And so it's really about consistent approach, being here every day, putting in the effort constantly, and knowing that it's going to improve. You're going to get there.
Yeah. And I think you are one of our best poster boys for that, is that your consistency has created all of these gains in the gym, not necessarily with weights, but all those mechanics too. And it's just amazing to see kind of what's happened. And I mean, you really are, people look up to you a lot for how well your movements are and how precise you are and how diligent you are in keeping that good form. And you kind of touched on it, that there are a lot of people who think that doing CrossFit or doing snatches, or they see barbell work and they think, oh my gosh, you're going to get injured. Have you been injured during this?
No, I mean, I've been sore and I've been tired, but nothing that I can speak of where I was out for a couple weeks. Or
right. Tell us about your experience with our coaching staff and the different coaches, and how has that helped you or not helped you in this?
Yeah, the coaches have been incredible. I mean, I think that, again, fundamental to what we do in the warm-ups and the drills that we do is being super precise and diligent about exactly the barbell path and things like that minimize the risk of injury and allow you to lift more. And so I think that doing that, seeing that, having the coaches kind of be there focused, able to kind of tweak as you go kind of constantly is super valuable and important. So I've been really happy with the coaches.
Good. And how about your preparation for the workouts? I know that there are a lot of different ways of getting ready for a workout, or a lot of different methods as far as a class is run. We put a lot of emphasis on our warm-up time and our skill time. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I mean, I think someone made a comment, it was one of the coaches, I think, about doing a WOD that's more like 40 or 50 minutes versus 15 minutes. And the comment was, I don't know how you can go extremely intense and kind of sprint and give it your all for 50 minutes.
Yeah, you can.
I'm sure there's maybe somebody that can. I can't.
Yeah.
And to have it be something that you ramp up, you stretch, you prepare, you warm, you do the drills. I think that minimizes the risk of injury incredibly. And I think then once you get to the workout and it's anywhere 10 to 20 minutes, you can be intense. You can put another plate on. And so I really like that model.
Yeah. And it's real effective too in building strength and creating changes in the body. Today's workout for you was how long?
14:02, 14 minutes, 2 seconds.
That's awesome. But yet we used the first 40 minutes of class to warm up to that. Like you mentioned, with drills and skills, just general warm up for the body and make sure that everyone knows what to do. And so it's been great to kind of see how that's developed for you.
Yeah.
So going on now, I know you mentioned the open, but what else? Is there anything else that you're kind of planning? So you did the general get in shape that you started with, right?
Yep.
So now I think you've achieved that. So what's next?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I'll do the open.
It's a little bit of competition. For those of you who don't know, the Open is just a worldwide competition for CrossFit gyms. Locally, you get to compete for 5 weeks in a row at your local CrossFit gym, and you get on a leaderboard nationally, and it's really fun.
Yeah, look
so
forward to
really
that.
a great sense of community. So there's some competition.
Some of that, I kind of alluded to my wife nudging me to a half marathon.
So the half marathon.
We'll see.
Wow.
Maybe at least more 5Ks. We did the 5K last week on Saturday, and that was better than it was a year ago or whatever. So
good.
More things like that. I think that I feel really good with the heavy Olympic lifting things.
Yeah.
And now it's time to work on cardio and setting some kind of more concrete goals.
Yeah. Good. I'm excited. Wow. So do any of you out there find that it's hard to get to the gym, you know, working long hours, you know, maybe you work out of town, like Beau works in Seattle, so he has to get his workouts in around his work schedule. Busy family, busy young family.
Young family, yeah.
So we just, you know, our goal in these videos is to give you guys a picture of real people. You know, our goal is to give true fitness through CrossFit to real people. Beau's a real person. You know, he lives down here, downtown Puyallup. He gets his workouts in. You know, he still has family time. Today, we just finished a workout, you know, and he's going to head home. I'm sure you're busy time here.
Yes.
So we just want to give you guys kind of a little picture of what the actual athletes are. You know, it's not, you don't have to be anyone special or have a certain level of fitness to start. You know, Beau, when you first started basic, what was your level of fitness? What would you, on 1 to 10, what was your?
4, 1 to 10, 2 or 3, I don't know. I mean, I did sports my whole life and then went to college and, you know, did less of that.
Okay, yeah.
And so it was a while since I did.
And how old are you?
I'm 32.
32.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's a pretty common story. People are athletes in high school and college. They get out of it and they get the real job, you know, and then they start a family, and kind of the fitness goes by the wayside. And a lot of people come to us and their goal is just to get fit, you know, and really that's what we specialize in. You know, we're not trying to get people to lift the heaviest weights, you know, or run, you know, a marathon. We're not specific. We're all, you know, it's full body fitness, cardio, strength, gymnastics, things like that. So hopefully I'm excited to see what's going on with your competition coming up. So thank you guys for joining us for another episode of our Testimonial Tuesday. We look forward to hearing how Beau does in the Open coming up. Maybe we'll check in with him during that Open season. So thank